Sudden bursts of energy that can be difficult to predict and often even more difficult to control. In short, those words define the Zoomies. Random acts of hyperbehavior, sometimes for no obvious reason. Unfortunately, for many cat owners, Zoomies can strike in the night. And if your cat is running all through the house at 2 in the morning, you've got a real problem on your hands. Trying to settle your pet while also attempting to settle yourself and do what you can in order to get a peaceful night of sleep. In this material, I'll talk a bit more about what Zoomies are, the importance of controlling them during the overnight hours, and a few tips on how you can calm your cat and get that much needed sleep that you're seeking before you begin a new day. Stay tuned. Have you ever been petting your cat, not really paying too much attention, simply enjoying the moment, when all of a sudden your cat jumps down and more or less begins to run aimlessly for several seconds, doing laps in your living room for seemingly no reason at all? I like to use the expression wild hair, but hey, that's just me. This unpredictable behavior can be a bit jarring and also rather humorous at times, depending on the circumstances. And while some cats will catch the zoomies a bit more than others, this frantic burst of energy can potentially become a serious problem, especially if we're talking about the middle of the night when you're not around. When it comes to the why of the matter, zoomies are largely brought on by pent up energy, the need to release the tension. Zoomies are rather common in full time house cats that are simply not able to reach that instinctual potential, let's say. It really all comes back to those basic hunting and chasing instincts. And when the tension gets too much or too high, cats, for seemingly no reason at all, at least to us, will start making those laps, perhaps even being a bit vocal while doing so. Run around for about 10 full seconds, almost like they're running a race in the Olympics, and then just stop and settle in. Zoomies can also manifest in aggression. Unfortunately, if zoomies strike a cat during a play session, that gentle demeanor could change, and your cat could take a few swipes at you, or even attempt to bite you. When it hits, well, it really does hit. For a human example, the first thing that comes to mind is a child that's had too much sugar, talking fast, running around, just acting up. Random acts of hyper. That's a good way to explain it. Nothing is really being done, but there's just a lot going on, a lot of fast movements and running around. And while zoomies are not all that common in older adult cats and senior cats, simply due to declining energy levels, kittens and young healthy adult felines are all about that energy. And if a cat stays in the house and doesn't get all that much attention and physical activity and expression, whenever the opportunity hits, those living room laps will be turned. As a personal example, I have 3 cats, and one in particular, let me tell you, at least a few times a week, he attempts to qualify for the Daytona 500. Thankfully, he's more direct with his movements, so there's not a aftermath of damage, but he'll just run around, chase the invisible man, attack a piece of paper on the floor, and then he'll just crash, just flop down on the floor. That is, until you attempt to pick him up, and then it's off to the races once again. He can go from a sitting position, totally relaxed and chill, and then something just goes off in his head, almost like there's a timer that I can't see. And once that green flag drops and the race begins, he's off and running. With respect to the topic of control, and if it's wise to harness this behavior, it all depends on the core objective and if your cat is causing real trouble. Know that zoomies are, for the most part, common. There's really nothing wrong here, and most of the time there's nothing to worry about. Zoomies last for seconds at a time and then they're done. This is why some level of control is often not needed, especially if all of this is taking place right in front of you. However, with respect to today's topic, if your cat's zoomie time is long after you've retired to the bedroom, some measure of control will need to be achieved, as you don't want your cat getting hurt, breaking items in your home, and just acting up to the point where you are unable to sleep. I mean, if a small child was in your living room in the middle of the night crying and throwing things, you'd want to get a handle on that situation. Same holds true for those midnight feline zoomies. When it comes to reeling your cat in and calming them down at night, I offer up the following suggestions and tips. In order to get a handle on the nighttime, let's change what we do in the daytime. Remember, zoomies are often the result of pent-up energy and the need to release it. Well, let's release it when the sun is out. either through a structured outdoor play session or a play session inside. The goal here is to make sure your cat receives plenty of mental and physical enrichment and stimulation, simply because they need it, but also because enrichment will introduce fatigue. Give your cat these essentials during the day so they can rest peacefully at night, and so can you. Another way to calm your cat at night is to make sure they have a sleep spot they enjoy. If your cat really has no other option than to walk around due to a less than stellar resting spot, your pet will be more inclined to run around and get in trouble. Once you've tired your cat out with some daytime fun and games, make overnight sleep not only something your cat needs, but something they want. Make the bed comfortable to their liking and place it away from the action. Low traffic zones for the win. If your cat is relaxed and feels secure, they'll become more than happy to sleep. Another way to calm Zoomies, in addition to positive enrichment and a good sleep location, is a nice meal, a routine meal. Feed your cat not long before you retire for the night. After playtime and a full belly, your cat should be more than inclined to look forward to chasing things in their dreams, rather than turning laps in your living room during the waking hours. And finally, and this is perhaps a bit controversial, but what about the introduction of a second cat? Not just for the nighttime and a way to quell the Zoomies, but daily interaction. The brunt of the doing, let's call it, wouldn't always fall on you if your pet has a pet. If your cat is interacting with another cat during the day, that can be taxing, both mentally and physically. And once those lights go out and you've gone to bed for the night, your cats will have had a full day. A nice day of play, good meals, and interaction with each other and with you. Make your cats in the most positive way possible. Make them earn that sleep. There is such a thing as a healthy fatigue. Grant your cats that healthy fatigue. They'll sleep through the night and they just won't have the energy or desire to run around your home. Before I close, I'd like to briefly address your cat's overall state of health and wellness. While Zoomies are normal and healthy, in fact, there are times, occasionally, where frequent episodes can be a bit concerning, especially if your cat is of senior status yet is always moving about during the night. Overactive behavior can be a symptom of hyperthyroidism. If your cat has the Zoomies but is also using the restroom in odd places and meowing and crying during the night, I advise you to take your cat to the vet, just to make sure that something else isn't the core reason for your pet's frantic midnight activity. To the audience of Senior Cat Wellness, what are your thoughts on this topic? Does your cat have a case of the overnight Zoomies? Are you struggling with your cat's late night energy? If you have a story to share and perhaps additional positive tips that could help other cat owners, please make use of the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you as a member of the Senior Cat Wellness family. And until next time, thank you so very much for watching, and I will talk to you later.